All right, what have I been doing? Right now, I have finally fixed the spoiler. Now, there's no gap, at least not between the side black pieces and the center. There is still on the side here, which I thought about it. Just trying to get that little bit of like a millimeter or so of fill in is really tricky. There is one way I could have done it, which was to add a long enough piece. I could have cut it just a little bit short, like this piece here, and then like glued it to these pieces to the end. But the way this is held on with the stud, you wouldn't be able to use it. And so there'd be, I don't know, I could leave it in there, or I could throw in a square, tile or something, just to fill in this up a bit. But then, I don't know, you're still gonna get a slight gap in there. I mean, in a way, now that I think about it, maybe I should have done that. Yeah, so I mean, I could have, pushed these out, cut this piece a little bit, not as short, so I can basically whatever this gap is, just to compensate for that. Push so I can push this out. These have to be just permanently attached to this piece, glued on or cemented, basically, and then remove that stud in there, and maybe put in a tile instead, just to square it off. But it'll still have this little piece that's kind of sticking up here. I don't know. It just seems like more work to get in here just to deal with that. And it's not hard, but I don't think it's that beneficial. I figured this basically does the job. I cut this piece down to fit exactly between. Now that gap's gone. And from most angles, you can't see that gap. So if we're directly behind, or not even really so much on top, you don't really quite notice it anyways, I think. And then maybe from the front, but from most angles, I think it's fine. And again, these are some of the limitations you're going to get with a Lego, brick built set. It's not really Lego, but it is and it isn't. It's a not Lego set. And like you'll get gaps around windows such as this, just to get the angle down on this. Let's see, there's like also, what do you think about why is the fender ending right here? It should go all the way down like the back, right? But it doesn't. At least, I don't know, the pieces that they use here, that they don't accommodate for that, which is a larger piece overall that creates that, I think, and so forth. And then there was, additionally, there was like a gap that was underneath the window, which I did manage to take care of. Showed that earlier. Yeah, nothing's going to be 100% perfect, but I tried to get as close to it as possible. So besides taking care of that, and I did goof up. I had the almost perfect piece. It was a 6 stud wide, 1x6, and it was a little bit longer, and I mismeasured. Well, I measured it, but I mismeasured it on a cut, because I was thinking, okay, about 2 millimeters thickness for one of these, as well as that, something 4 millimeters total. But I forgot to separate that in my head, so I did 4 from each side instead of 2 and 2. So it ended up basically being back to the 1x5 piece that was pieced up. So that really pissed me off. That was my fault. I wasn't thinking clearly at the time. I had a brain fart, so a wasted piece. Anyways, I don't know, maybe I can use this as a 1x5 piece to bridge something later on. I won't totally disregard it, but it is what it is. So I had to sacrifice a 1x8 and cut that down to fit. I don't have any other 1x6s. So anyways, finally got that to work. Again, I did fix this part of the rear. It was using like this piece here, which it creates a little bit of a divot in there. This at least helps it look a little bit more fluid, although this stud piece doesn't have quite the same edging as like the tile pieces. You can see that the tiles have a slight bevel underneath on the bottom part, that's why this extends down just a little bit more, but it is what it is. It's still better than I think this piece before. And then I was looking at the bumper, and I was looking at the reference, you know, the actual NSX-R, and the way they did the tail, the rear bumper, and the this yellow would represent the license plate area, and that should be, there shouldn't be a gap right above it. It should just kind of continue with the opening. So I made the effort of custom cutting a 1x6 to make that happen. And so I don't think I could, I don't know, I don't want to figure out what's underneath here and remove everything here just to get to that, just to bump it out a little bit, and I'm not even sure if I can, you know, right, to fill that gap. So I'll pause this and then I'll slap this on. You can see the difference. I'm just gonna check it out right now. What do you think? It's not terrible, but I know that it's not supposed to look like that. So hang on. And here we go. Let's see, this towel is removed, and then there you go. That's how it should look like. Yeah, it should just be smooth across the top of the bumper like that. Pretty much. And so yeah, I think that turned out pretty good now. I think that looks a lot better. It's a little hollow on the inside, but whatever. Just kind of, you gotta, I think the main part of it is just to fill in this area right up above the license plate. I guess I should make that black because, you know, basically, essentially, isn't this the license plate up front, unless it's supposed to represent some sort of grill in the front here, which I don't think it is, because I think that underneath here is the grill, the opening. So careful, I'll push on this. But yeah, I think that works pretty good now. One other thing I just noticed, and I thought I had thought about it for a moment, but I do believe I think about it, I got to change it on this too. The mirrors should be black, and either I'll paint the whole thing. I gotta take a look at the reference photo. Do I need to paint everything black? I kind of don't want to. I kind of want to mask off the right where it connects to that C clip area, right? And then mask that off in either spray paint or hand. Maybe I'll hand paint it if I have good smooth paint to paint that mirror black. That's because it should be black and not white. That being said, this should be on the NSX, I believe. Maybe I should look at a Gen 1 NSX, you know, the first one, but I'm pretty sure the mirror should be black as well. I think I have most of these parts. I mean, the wrap that I did around the mirror recently is red. I can change that out to be black. That's not hard. It's just a matter of the that slope piece that's on the outside of the mirror, that becomes the front, and there is that round piece that has like a thing that sticks in there, which I don't know if that's, I don't have a piece like that right here. I don't think it is. I think that might be a specialized piece, perhaps. Hang on. Okay, I'm thinking that round piece, you can kind of see it. There's like a little bar that comes out of it. It could be similar to, you see what's inside the tank there? Those pieces, I forget what those are called. But they are definitely shaped differently. These have like an edge, and it's not perfectly, you know, flat or smooth on the outer part of what's round, opposed to this. Yeah, so it'll be, if everything else, all else is equal about that, other than the outer shape of that, you know, it won't be as smooth, but I could potentially make that in black, I guess, with that, something similar to the part that I showed on that tank, and redo that. Let me think about it. I have to take a look at the instructions, or at least a closer look at these mirrors and figure out what parts are in there and what can I use to make it, you know, make them black if I can. Anyways, that's another side thing. For now, this is probably easier for me to somehow paint these. I think I should just leave the mirrors black and not the base. Again, I'll take a look at the source material and see if there's that much of an arm or whatever extending out from the mirror to the side door that maybe warrants it completely being black. But I kind of don't want to, because you know I got to squeeze a painted part, and then you got to fit it into here. You know, if there's any paint on the inside, it's probably gonna, you know, scrape and peel out, and it's just wouldn't be so good. It'd be easier just or cleaner just to just do the mirrors black, which I probably will just do. At least those should be black, and I think that'll carry through just fine. You can't have 100% everything exact. Again, this area in the back, not exactly accurate. There should be probably more of a rear diffuser, at least around the side exhaust as well, but I just don't see that I can use these pieces and put one in there effectively. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen, and I can just accept that. Okay, well, this is a partially modded NSX, so you know, maybe you know, we just did something different with the rear basically. But anyways, overall it's coming along. So the mirrors are the next mod. I gotta probably find a way to paint. I think this turned out pretty good. Redoing the hood scoop, as I mentioned in the previous video, and I'll get a new piece here to make it more one solid 2x3 tile, so you don't have this line running. It just looks smoother, less of a breakup. And I think that should be it, other than just trying to figure out again if I want to go with white wheels or go black or silver on the wheels. Probably just keep them white for simplicity. And again, even though they're not the original 7-spoke versions that should be on this car, and I think about it, they're technically undersized for the size of this car, if I'm not mistaken. Well, they don't look too bad on here. I'm just trying to figure out how. Oh, you know what? Part of the rim is made up by it looks bigger and deeper. It's not. You see these wheels, including this edge that's on around the outside, this inset here, and so I think the rest of that is made up by this piece here. It'll fit inside here, and then the tires will go over it. But then, yeah, that's where part of the inside of that rim is, the wheel. So I will probably just leave it white, because then that means I would have to paint everything else. I can't just paint this silver or black, because then if I push this in, this outer wall will still be white. So I'm probably gonna have to keep it white. That's fine. I guess that simplifies my decision. Again, if I painted it and I pushed it in, it could very well just, as I'm doing that, it could scrape some of that paint off of there as I'm pushing it in, and then how I'm gonna paint it, because all of this is going to be on the inside, and I try to spray it at that point, it's going to probably overspray and hit and cover what's in here, so that's not going to be the best. Okay, well, I'm almost there then. I guess I can start putting on the wheels soon, and then the last touches will be, again, just finishing off the mirror and this part, and whenever I get to it, maybe I hope I can change the bottom splitter piece, whatever you want to call it, on the bottom of the bumper to white, just to make everything look lower. I mean, as it is, it does. I have seen it. I think the car does have white all the way, and then does have a small black like thing molding or something on the bottom of the front spoiler anyways on the real thing. So it wouldn't be terrible, but I kind of like it to look all like one cohesive body kit, and so that would include this piece would be technically part of the aero kit, and make everything look low. As it is, it's kind of creates a negative space, so it makes the front look a little bit raised. I don't know, I like cars to look dropped, kind of like Colorado. Okay, that's it. I think I've babbled on enough, but hope you're enjoying. I know I'm dragging this out, but I'm just taking you through my creative process and just kind of fixing things along the way as I see them. All right, thanks. So when I keep having new things to do, so some new ideas. So this, as you might have seen, this was in the front of the car, and I think this acts as a license plate, which is fine, but I generally don't like license plate in the front of the car if I can avoid it. So how this thing is put together, as you can see how this piece is. And what I just need for this to be is it's going to form an open grill, and I got to remove this, and what I'm going to do is just place a tile underneath it instead, and it's placed to let me see here, get an idea. Basically this takes the place of a tile, but I don't need these things to stick out here and add a license plate. So let's clean it up and just put this here. But how do I put this on here? Well, you know what? I don't even need to do. I was going to use these as a stud reversal, but I don't need to. I think I just need a 1x2 white and stick it in there without it, and that should do it. Hang on. All right, so here we go. Hang on a second.
I better get out of here.
Trying to pause this, huh?
So we can talk about this again.
Sorry. I paused it. Anyways, there we go. Took out the piece that was here to be the front license plate, and just added a 1x2 plate up there, you know, basically like this without those two things in front. And that's it. And I think I just need to push this down lower. It's on a hinge joint, which is a little stiff. I gotta over push it, but it's not a big deal because, well, I'll fix it more later. But I'm gonna replace this with one 2x3 to smooth this part out, and then yeah, that looks a lot better. Then what do I do about this license plate here? I mean, it's not offensive, but then again, it kind of makes me wonder, like, why is it yellow? If anything, if this is a JDM model, I believe the Japanese plates are white, aren't they? With a couple of, you know, they have their own way of doing the plates. But anyways, what should I do? I've seen them put like a black plaque here with just NSX-R or something like that, but I don't have anything small printed like that. I don't think the sticker sheet. No. There's nothing on it. No. There's nothing on it. There's nothing on the sticker sheet that I can use, so I don't know. Thinking maybe I should stick a white sticker in there just to simulate a plate, or if not, kind of make it look at least like it's more complete with the white in the background. Really don't want to get in there just to replace those plates, so I don't know why. I just dread trying to pull this part of the bumper apart just to get in there. Easiest fix is just to stick a sticker in there and call it quits, at least in terms of that part. But anyways, I don't know, I didn't think of cleaning this up earlier. I just had to look at reference material again, and here we go. Anyways, so another mod that just came to my head in the work, so real quick fix there, and we shall continue.